And here we go. The lane flag. That's a good board there, isn't it, Mike? Fair. Inside line on the move.
Landon Castle up there heading that outside line. It looks like they're making a little momentum up there.
Now note there are two 24s in the race. The numbers on Jeff Gordon's car are yellow. I believe they're white on William Byron's. Computerized scoring sorts that all out, so you don't have to.
Swinging well high up on the banking as they come through 3 and 4. Going 3 wide for the first time, Mike, and I'm promising you before this day's over, I don't know if they'll make it or not, but we're going to say they were 5 wide at some point.
Austin Dillon right there with the lead duo on the inside line. And Matthew Benedetto in those new Ford Proud colors. And Ray Keselowski, the front 5 on the inside. Wow, Chastain jumped out to what's now the middle line, and there is William Byron, and in the little box, Jeff Gordon with Bobby Labonte.
Looks like these guys might be, Mike, like we talked about before the race, hanging out a bit, making sure that they've got a little bit of a cushion between them and what they think could be the big one at Talladega. Looks pretty focused and happy
and sounding like Boyer.
Yeah, because Denny just took me 3 wide. I got him back.
Michael, you know what we haven't done yet?
What?
We've not cranked it up.
Why don't we?
Jimmy Johnson going around off the nose of Brad. Now, iRacing, they have the ability to hold or withhold or waive the caution. Looks like we're going to stay green here, 4 laps from halfway.
Brad just held his line, it looked like to me, Mike, and maybe Jimmy had a miscommunication with the spotter and just drove across the nose, but luckily he was able to drive off and remain in competition.
I love it. Hey, all Boyer needed was for me to get into one of these races so he can raise his level of competition up.
I think this is my first iRacing lead. That's awesome. Showing you can get it done in the...
Got some serious arm punch.
I wasn't sure if it was because I was white-knuckling the steering wheel or because of the feedback in the steering wheel.
How much does this pay to lead per lap?
Man, I hope a lot. I tell you, the other thing is I think I want to put Bowman a lap down here, don't I? In case the caution comes out. He's a car that might have to race for a win here. I don't need to rate anybody.
Yeah, you might want to see how hard he wants to fight for that lead lap.
It looks like you're in his trunk.
I know.
Oh, no!
There you have it.
No! It's blown up!
Oh, are you blown up, Boyer?
Oh, man, you gotta be kidding me.
You probably should have got out from behind him.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
I think oh, man, Larry, what happened?
Well, you didn't pit when I told you to pit.
Are you kidding me? I got to get it to pit road.
Yeah, man, we're under green. He's going to lose a lot more than I lost.
Are you kidding me?
What did your gauges show, Clint? Is there a red light blinking? Any indicator?
Hey, spotter on the roof. There's oil all over the track. All over the track.
Back to Suarez and Labonte.
One of those cars is Kyle Busch. We saw him fall to the back early, Mike, and felt like that was part of his strategy. He's raced his way up into contention now. 4 wide at the front,
First four wide racing today. Won't be the last.
These guys are moving. Oh, there it is.
Nope, just one. Oh, Logano hard in the wall on the outside. And that might have been Kyle Busch with him. Whoa, Blaney. Up, down. Come on.
Mike, how many laps to go?
How many did you tell us it was going to be, Larry?
2 to go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's why we love your McNuggets, Larry, because you can just bring it. It always seems to work out, too.
Logano and Blaney have damage from that one at lap 68. Third caution flag of the day.
Did our man Boyer survive?
Yeah, but kind of. There wasn't enough of them to wreck. We need more.
Alex Bowman.
Well, that moved you up at least 2 spots, Clint.
You know, guys, Bowman, with that move that they pitted early, I mean, playing right into Larry's wheelhouse there, he called it, said to pit early, they did, got track position, looking good.
Where did this all start? Whoa, just a dead left by Logano. Not sure if he was turned or not. That destroyed Ryan Blaney, who went flying, and Joey Gase.
I'm just so glad to know that they're all okay, Mike.
Yes. Yes, the virtual care center has little to do today, thank goodness.
Marty's as ready as I am. Got him on the road. There's the break by Bowman. He jumps to the outside after making that great start. And look, on the bottom, Dillon takes advantage.
Bowman might have got just a little too far out front there. He's got help from Ryan Preece. Ty Dillon in the lead with a lap and a half to go.
Will they make it back?
Or LaJoy right on LaJoy right on Dillon's bumper.
Whoa. But Bowman did a nice job of keeping control of this car after that big push off Ryan Preece.
Into the tri-oval where the start-finish line is not located here. And if this had been the last lap, it would have been Bowman. All right, we're under green. Next flag ends the race.
This is good. Landon Castle sniffing that checkered flag.
Ty Dillon needs a big push from LaJoy right now.
I think he's going to get it, Mike.
Trouble behind them. There will be no caution. That's way back in the pack. We're going to try to finish this under green. Bowman versus Dillon with Preece and LaJoy. Castle. Byron, Smithley, they're all in it to win it. Here we go. And Dillon gets turned out of the front pack. Byron to the apron. And to the line. Alex Bowman is your winner.
More deaths. Governor Andrew Cuomo's executive order that shut down the state, that order expires on May 15th. Construction and manufacturing businesses may open next month with precautions. Reopening will occur in phases. Mayor Bill de Blasio announced today he hopes to have a roadmap by June 1st on how to rebuild the city after the coronavirus threat subsides. Doctors on the USNS Comfort discharged their final patient today. The ship will soon return to its home port in Virginia. In the Garden State, Governor Phil Murphy tweeted tonight he will make an announcement tomorrow to unveil the roadmap to responsibly reopen New Jersey. Also happening tomorrow, 5 major parks that have been closed to stop the spread of coronavirus will reopen in Jersey City. We have team coverage of the day's developments. We begin tonight with Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang on Manhattan's West Side. Lucy?
Well, Joe, there's 2 big newsmakers coming out of New York tonight. First, the state is now making tentative plans to reopen next month, beginning with construction and manufacturing. And second, a big salute to the USNS Comfort behind me. The ship will be sailing off in a few days after discharging her last patient today. The USNS Comfort is scheduled to sail away later this week. The medical ship had come to New York City's rescue at the end of March when COVID-19 was exploding. Thankfully, the worst-case scenario did not come to pass. The naval ship treated only 198 patients, and the last one left today. So now, all eyes are on May 15th, the date officials have penciled in to let New York start working again.
Phase 1 of reopening will involve construction and manufacturing activities, and within construction and manufacturing, those businesses that have a low risk.
To be clear, there are conditions to the green light. All the COVID numbers must be in decline for 2 weeks prior to the 15th. And if the trend continues to fall for the 2 weeks after resuming construction and manufacturing, then the state will move to phase 2, reopening businesses. Which businesses? Still to be worked out.
What kind of social distancing will be required in the business? How many customers can be there at any given time? All of these answers need to be filled in.
Schools, public, private, higher education, also surrounded with a big question mark.
We have 700 school districts in the state. Many of them are saying they want to do summer school, so that we have to feel out as we go.
As of last night. So don't read a lot into the Sunday or the Monday numbers on their own. We have weekend unevenness, and if that weren't enough, we've got a little bit of a delay in getting these today because we're starting earlier. We have 2,146 new positive test results to report for a total statewide of 111,188. As I said, these numbers may not be quite entirely complete, so would ask you, give us till tomorrow and Wednesday, look back a few days, and then average those days in if you're looking for trend lines. As we look at the curve, Mahin, of new COVID-19 cases, it remains flat, but as we'll discuss in a few minutes, before we can get ourselves on the road to recovery, we need this curve to bend down and to stay down. Sadly, we, with the heaviest of hearts, report an additional 106 lives lost, meaning that we have now lost a total of 6,044 blessed brothers and sisters of the New Jersey family to COVID-19 related complications. In our healthcare system, as of last night's reporting, there were 6,407 patients hospitalized for COVID-19. That number has, as you can see, begun to trend downward, and that's a good thing. Our field medical stations reported 75 patients. There were 1,801 patients in either critical or intensive care, and again, this number is down roughly 9% from where it was last Monday. That number needs to continue to go down. Ventilator use continues to trend downward to 1,303 currently in use. This is down about 18% from a week ago. There were 314 new hospitalizations yesterday, and the trend line continues to point in the right direction. And for the 24 hours preceding 10 p.m. last evening, our hospitals reported 480 discharges. We continue to see discharges exceed new admissions, and we need to keep it that way. The state announced today a vision to put our state and our people on the road to recovery. However, there is still much more work to do. If we let up even one bit with our aggressive social distancing measures too soon, even one day too soon, we can easily see ourselves skidding off this road. As I've said several times before, I and everyone up here in our respective teams will be guided by one overarching principle, and one principle only, as we plan our state's reopening. It is this: public health creates economic health. I repeat, public health creates economic health. That is what will guide us. That's the order in which we must proceed. It means that before we reopen non-essential stores and businesses, before we can reopen our parks, or before we allow in-person dining in our restaurants, among any host of other activities, people need to know, first and foremost, that their health, that your health, will be safeguarded from COVID-19. With that principle as our starting point, again, public health creates economic health. On the road back, using renewed public health to create renewed economic health. Adhering to the first four principles will secure our public health. 1. Following trends of sustained reductions in new COVID-19 cases and other key metrics reflecting a decreasing burden of disease. 2. Expanding testing capacity and speeding up the return of results. 3. Robust contact tracing. And 4. Ensuring safe places where those positively diagnosed in the future can isolate. When we have accomplished these 4 steps, we can move to principle number 5, responsibly restarting our economy to restore our economic health. And finally, to secure our future, we move to principle number 6, ensuring our resiliency. If we follow this road, we give ourselves the best possible chance to succeed in the months ahead. Our first order of business is to secure the public's health. And as I noted, this will require us to meet our first 4 principles. The stay-at-home order, which has been in effect since March 21st, will remain in effect in its entirety until further notice. For us to move out from underneath this order, we need to see at the least a sustained reduction in the number of new positive COVID-19 test results, new COVID-19 related hospitalizations, and other metrics. And we will also need to see our hospitals step down from functioning under a crisis standard of care. We will be looking for trend lines that show 14-day decreases. We cannot look at just one day or one snapshot in time and say we've succeeded or failed. We will need to look across the length of time and to not be distracted by any statistical noise. We need to ensure that we have a robust and fully functioning healthcare system ready to meet the challenges ahead. And it's not just our hospitals, but also ambulatory facilities, long-term care facilities, provider practices, everywhere healthcare is delivered. And when we see fewer cases and fewer hospitalizations, we know our system will be prepared for these challenges. Second, we must have a significantly ramped up diagnostic testing plan in place. We need to, at the least, double our current testing capacity. I'm proud to announce that we are actively working toward doubling our diagnostic testing capacity by the end of May, and having everything in place from the kits themselves to the lab capacity necessary to ensure quick turnaround of results. As we've said many times, it isn't just the number of tests, it's how fast you get them back. We will have a flexible testing plan that is accessible to all residents who need it. Care system, whether it be through, you should not fear heading back to work or elsewhere, and that is our objective. And finally, we cannot think of COVID-19 as a one and done. Whether we are hit with a rebound of COVID-19 or a different strain or an altogether new virus outbreaks, we have learned valuable lessons that we would be foolish to ignore. Ensuring New Jersey's resiliency for the next outbreak, and that no one will be left unprotected because of racial or socioeconomic status, must be a part of our response to this outbreak. COVID-19 showed no favorites in ravaging our state, and neither will we in preparing for the next wave. We must use this window of opportunity to fill gaps and fortify our healthcare system. I will be looking to see that our hospitals and healthcare systems, and anywhere else, by the way, where healthcare is delivered, have the bed capacity, personal protective equipment, ventilators, supplies, and staff they will need to provide the highest quality of services. At the state level, we will ensure that we too have the supplies to backstop our healthcare facilities and our first responders and essential workers. That means building our own state stockpile of PPE, from masks to gloves and everything in between, so we can properly outfit not just our frontline health and public safety responders, but also our essential workers.
As of April 29th, at 12:32 p.m., 3,157,459 worldwide cases And now the USA has surpassed 1 million at 1,015,289, which also, by the way, accounts for roughly 1/3 of the total confirmed cases, at least at what is being shown on the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center. 219,611 fatalities, while 957,094 have recovered. Yesterday, I got a taste of what I hope will be whatever summer we can salvage for this year. I had a chance to spend 1 complete hour walking around a portion of my town, pretty much in the neighborhoods within the vicinity of my house. It was a warm 65-degree day, and the sun had a very strong radiant shine to it. No smog, no haze, just crystal clear blue sky with a little bit of clouds up there. And earlier that day, I was on a conference call with people from the church that I work for, and one of them heard what sounded like fighter jets over her house. And it turns out that the famed Blue Angels were doing a flyover to salute the medical personnel and other workers who are directly combating the virus. Now, I happen to live in a neighborhood where planes fly directly over us all the time en route to landing at Newark Airport. And when the Blue Angels were bypassing my town on their way to New York and then the northern in the communities and cities of northern New Jersey, the noise, hearing that, it was incredibly amazing. It is as if an A380 were doing a flyby at 1,000 feet, but these fighter jets had to be well above 8,000 feet high. It was too small to take a picture, even though I was able to sort of see the jets, when I was squinting trying to look up, I was able to see, just a very small speck in the sky, but not large enough for me to take a picture of it, obviously. But I'm pretty sure that in certain neighborhoods, at least one person from each house on the block stepped outside to catch a glimpse of this very rare spectacle. So during my walk, there were some houses that featured many thank you signs to the medical personnel and the military, and inspirational messages to keep our spirits up. And that's what I want to be able to close this episode out with. A little bit of positivity. Sure, the numbers may be on the downward trend. Will there probably be a day when cases could spike? Absolutely. But the fact that we've been on the general decline makes me hopeful for the summer, and all the more reason why we should further reinforce patience and prudence. Because when all of this is over, and when we finally are able to say that we've reached phase 3, we as a society have ourselves to thank. The doctors and nurses may have been on the front lines, and of course they deserve a zillion thank yous. But for us, the rest of us, by erring on the side of caution, was able to slow the spread down, and therefore will be able to buy plenty of time for us to start working again, and being able to hang out with people, high-fiving, hugging, shaking hands, etc. At the same time, while a treatment is being developed to be able to stop this virus once and for all.